This is Frank, and today I've got out a small, maybe 1/25th scale MiG-19. This was their first, I think, supersonic fighter that the Soviets had. This is done in Czechoslovakian markings. It's a really tiny model. It uses 6mm depron for the tail controls and wing. I'm just running tail controls because the wing's so tiny I didn't want to cut ailerons out of it. The servos are up forward for CG, and I've got some little guide tubes there. It uses a simple 2.6-inch cardboard tube for the body. Just a simplistic view of it. Use a little 2208 1800 kV motor, APC 6.4 prop, and an 800 milliamp hour 3-cell pack with a 20 amp speed control. Flies real nice. The small wingspan and the lightweight, it really wants to torque on hand launch a lot, so I have to launch on a pretty low throttle, otherwise it'll just flip upside down pretty quickly. So sometimes it's a little hairy to hand launch, so I need to launch at kind of a low throttle and toss really hard so that it gets some airspeed, and then once the air is under the wings it flies just fine. For landing, I'll need to keep a little bit of power on till just before landing, and then I can flare just a little bit. If I chop the throttle up high, the descent rate with the wing loading, which is about 9 or 10 ounces per square foot, is a little too steep, and you can't really flare as good as you'd really like to. Just uses some hand-cut vinyl trim and some Sharpie markers for the panel lines. Looks real nice. Kind of neat shape with a really swept wing. So hopefully hand launch goes okay. I'll give you a flight. I'll try to stay over to the right because the sun's kind of bright over there. It wants to torque a lot, so when I do loops or split S's, I have to kind of chop it at the top, otherwise the torque will just keep it rolling around. All right. Okay. Yeah, lighting's kind of good at this angle. Invert is okay. Outside loops got a little funny just with the tail controls only. Sometimes it wants to pop over right away. Lighting's pretty good though. It rolls really fast to the left. Let it come down a little bit. Let's power off. Let's go up again and go to the right. Not as bad. Slow her down a little bit, see what I can do. Yeah, it's got a tiny wing, probably less than a square foot for about a little less than 10 ounce flight weight. About 24 inches long maybe. It's not too bad at that. That's maybe a little less than half throttle. So it'll mush around okay like that. Looks good in this lighting, kind of golden hour lighting. Alright, let's speed up. Around. There we go. Back at us. And right there, I gotta chop it, otherwise it keeps torquing around. Is that working okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that really swept wing looks pretty good.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Do a big loop. Yeah, I'm getting about 7 minutes of on this battery. So this is probably the smallest and lightest I could go with this power setup, just because the wing loading and torque on hand launches with that 6.4 prop. I could maybe down prop it with a 5.5 and get a little more speed and maybe not quite so much torque. But most of my other planes are set up with this prop combo, so it's just easy. This way. That working okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's a little more than half throttle. We'll go vertical again. See if there's anything weird when I chop it. No, it's just a little flippy flop. I can keep it inverted a little bit. Alright, a minute. Set up. Do that again the other way. So we got 81 degrees and dead calm here, Portland area today. Pretty good for first day of May. Okay, I'm going to come around on the right. See if I can do a decent landing. So I've got to keep a little bit of throttle on so it doesn't settle too much. There we go.